you can't pronounce my name, so like you guys can call me Alex. And here I have with me again Saint Keeks. Last time when we were doing this, we were doing the preview of the Madrid Derby, and today we're gonna talk about the post-match thing. And I think we all have some mixed feelings about the match. And obviously, like the talking point of the whole tie is that one moment, which was a slip from Julian Alvarez, whether he touched the ball twice or not, which is still in the question. Actually, I'm still not convinced, even if the UEFA released the video, because I don't know, like it's not convincing enough. Because like if you see the angles from when it was like broadcasted, uh, I don't, I didn't see any touch. But from UEFA, there was a slight touch which I could see, but from the TV angles, I couldn't see anything. So like it is a pretty bizarre one, to be honest. Like I don't know if he touched the ball twice or not. And even the fact that the video from the UEFA, the ball like moves like slightly here, which is, I don't know, like it doesn't take a roll. It like moves like this,
Mm-hmm.
which literally like goes above my head, to be honest. And I don't know why these things keep happening to us. And what really frustrates me is that our board doesn't even do anything about it. Like, fine, like you pressured UEFA for the statement, but again, like you have to do so. I mean, like look at Real Madrid. Like in La Liga, they have some decisions against them. They literally shook the whole league with attacking referees and whatnot. I mean, you have to do something, and like this is bizarre. Like just accepting as it is, given the fact that there was a lot of good plays in the match from Atletico. We literally gave it our all. The fans were singing from the first minute to the 120th minute, and even after we lost in the penalties, the fans were still singing. I think the hierarchy of this football club really need to understand that sometimes you have to push forward, just like the players and the fans as well. But anyway, as I would and I mean, like I have a lot to talk about, to be honest, for the penalty incident. But let's just keep it because it doesn't gonna change anything now. What's done is done,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna move to Sam Keeks about his views. What do you think?
Um, on the match itself, I think we came out the gates in the best way possible. I think before I even talk about the match, I have to say what we saw videos of what the Atletico fans did when they went to the team's hotel before the game, and I felt assured we would get a good match. You know, like we for sure we'll perform. I don't know if we'll get over the line, but I know we'll perform. And then when you saw the tifo, goosebumps, amazing feeling, amazing game. And then when we came into the game itself, it was a clear, 30 seconds first goal like that. Like it shows what it meant to try and tackle this game. I think you said before, I think if we had a chance to win it, we had to score first and we had to do it. And both of us said it has to start early, has to start early. And when I saw the goal in the first 30 seconds, I thought for sure if we can manage to get another goal before halftime, there is a solid shot we win it all completely. And if we manage to somehow get to 3 goals, the tie is done. Right? That's how I felt. But I think we had chances. I think what we did on the night was very good tactically. I think the decision to focus so heavily on what Giuliano did on the right hand side, where he is actively taking on Mendy, or actively linking up between Rodrigo de Paul, Julian Alvarez, and then Llorente when they are together on that right hand side. And you saw how devastating it was for Real Madrid to even try and like contain it. And even though it didn't happen constantly, like in constant rhythms, is it's the way that whenever we had a chance to go forward and create a chance, we didn't just go gung ho. It was a clear, calculated effort. We are going to do X, Y, Z. We're going to pass it to Rodrigo de Paul. Rodrigo is going to look for either Giuliano or Llorente. Llorente or Giuliano is going to look for either one of the two other players, but they're going to before that they're going to push forward, push Real Madrid a little bit back, wait until we get some reinforcement, overload on the flank, and then if we can get a cross in, we'll have one of Griezmann, Alvarez, or Gallagher coming in late to try and create a chance. We got a goal off of it. We almost did another off of that same chance again. And there was so many moments I could mention where we looked really scary in the first half. There were moments in the second half, moments in the extra time, etc. But if I wanted to look at everything, I think what we saw today is some of the best of Atletico, but it could have been even more. I think we've seen better than this from Atletico. Ironically, defensively, I don't think we can really. I can complain. I think it was so well set up. I think I have no complaints about any of the centre backs, any of who started or who came off the bench. I Renildo did fantastic job holding up Rodrigo. Uh, Gallagher came back and defended as well. I think every time Vinicius or Mbappe came onto that left hand side and even came close to touching the ball, there was like four men swarming them immediately, and they just did not have a chance to influence the game. When you look at the midfield without Valverde means you don't really have a chance to take a shot outside the box to try and question Oblak. Bellingham that's not his forte. Chomeni might do it once in a blue moon, but that's not his thing. So knowing what Simeone did on the night to completely nullify Real Madrid's attack out of possession, to completely take them out of the game, was fantastic for me. And I wish we could have tried to replicate that in the first leg. I feel like the Galan experiment was too risky. When we had Ronaldo, I think I tweeted this like some months ago where I said
Yeah,
I
I
felt
think
yeah.
that's the thing. I think now I understand, like from the club perspective, like we need a good lift back. I definitely think because Ronaldo, I think defensively, like he's really good, but
Mhm.
like going forward, he isn't that good. Like even in the match, like we could see, like defensively he was really good, but like going
Mhm.
forward, it was like he made some runs, but then again, like he just ran over
he
the
had
whole
some
field.
he had some good
Like
runs.
he could have.
He didn't have that crossing that you want to have
Yeah,
to really
exactly,
affect the
exactly.
game.
I think yeah, he doesn't have that ability, like to like to be comfortable with the ball and like with drive forward with the ball.
Mhm.
He doesn't have that ability, but like he's really good defensively. Is you can say like he's kind of like a Aaron Bissaka, like as he was in Man United, like defensively great,
Yeah.
going forward not that good. But I think yeah, this is the place we need to invest. Like who is as balanced going
Mhm.
forward and as balanced as defending as well. But yeah, again, I would say like adding to your point, like we definitely like we were the best teams in both the legs. We deserve to go through, and given the fact that we had, I think, from both the ties, Real
Mhm.
Madrid only dominated us for the 30 minutes, and that was in the Bernabeu when Modric came on, and we were just happy to get the 2-1. That's it. That was the only time
I
Real
think
Madrid dominated, just for 30 minutes. I think, like, for let's say the
mhm.
whole 180 minutes, only 30 minutes Real Madrid got the better out of us, and
I
that's
guess
it.
that
Yeah, but
defines the difference in capabilities because if we look at I think we mentioned difference makers before in the last review where we said I think Atletico does have some different maker who can do things and change different dynamics, right? And we made a mistake. Jimenez is a fantastic centre back. I love him. I've seen areas where he's not his strongest. Usually, I think one of the better parts of getting Roman Lenormand was him coming onto the right hand side and almost assuring it up like what Savage used to do for us. Usually in a back three, but also in a back two. He's aggressive. He loves attacking those channels. That's his thing. Jimenez likes to sweep. Anything that goes over the line, goes past his thing, he's sweeping it up. It's easy. When it comes to channels, he's a little less comfortable, and that's where players like Raheem can become a problem. Who quick on their feet, light on the touch, um, and it can cause issues. Rodrigo is no different, you know. So I would have liked to see Lenormand in the first leg. I would have liked to see Ronaldo in the first leg. I'm fine that it didn't happen.
Yeah, but
I
I
Yeah.
think well, Simeone, like when it comes to like these matches, I think Simeone goes with like he needs leaders on the pitch,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't be surprised like he would have started Koke as well if he was 100% fit. I
Right.
think Koke would have definitely started. But again, I think like again like going back to the thing like like dominating the two legs and then just scoring two goals. It's and one came out of like a individual, I would say individual like from Alvarez, and
Hmm.
then the second one was a good move. Like we just caught them
The
off
team
guard
move.
at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the start of the match. But I think we should have made the most of it with the start we had. I think we could have hurt them more,
Right.
but like even the all the chances we had, I think like it was all Alvarez taking shots,
Hmm.
like just creating something out of nothing. That was Alvarez was doing. And even I think like the minute details, like for example, Korea, like Oblak literally gave the ball to Korea. He was the brilliant touch, by the way, from him. And
Hmm.
then if he crossed it early to Sorloth, that was a tap in for him in the
True.
second half.
It would have
And
had to be perfect, but I felt that any moment it was
exactly,
like you took one touch too many, and now the chance kind of becomes almost impossible. You know?
exactly. And even in the 90th minute, like if Korea could have passed the ball to Julian Alvarez, like with
Oh no,
his
he was never.
exactly.
He was
Yeah,
never doing that.
that's what like
Once you take that volley and you spin, there's almost no chance you see like everything is a blur. There was no chance he was gonna pass that. I believe that in my heart. He was never gonna pass that. He was going to take the shot. If he scored it, amazing. Best player in the world. If he didn't, which I expected, okay. you know?
no, I'm not saying anything
Yeah.
against Korea. I'm just saying like there were details, like minute details,
Sure.
which could have been there. Like obviously, like I respect Korea so much. Like he's been at a club for 10 years. He's been doing the best. He never complains. He's
Hmm.
always been our super sub for the last decade as well. So I have nothing against Korea. For me, he's a club legend. I'm not saying anything against him. I'm just saying like some minute details which we could have done better.
Hmm.
And even, for example, like for the counter attack things, I think there were some moments when Espilicueta came in as well. If some passes were better, we could have hurt Real Madrid. Again, I'm going to go back to that thing. Like the final third, we were lacking that precision pass in the final third, which I think if let's just take the penalty out of the question, the Julian Alvarez penalty, let's just talk about the match. If you tell me like after the two legs we just scored two goals after all the chances or half chances we had, I mean like it doesn't go my mind like how come we couldn't hurt them that much. And talking about Real Madrid, I don't know like what they do. They have some juju, I don't know voodoo. I have no idea in Champions League because like they keep getting away with these decisions, like these bizarre decisions as well. Never, and the audacity of some players of Real Madrid like Vinicius, Rudiger, celebrating like that. I mean, for me, Real Madrid used to be a class club back in the decade, not now. Real Madrid is a shameless and a classless club for me right now, and
I
I have nothing but top hate for them from the bottom of my heart, and I really want us to reach the Copa del Rey final to meet them again. I really want that final against Real Madrid.
sure. I I don't agree with. To me, I've never understood the what is it? The people call Real Madrid the club of opulence, the of more than, right? And I've never personally understood it because fundamentally opulence is has always been a flex of excessive wealth. It's been always been something that should be, generally speaking, frowned upon from most people's point of view. So when you see, so if you are an onlooker, I'm not. Nobody's supposed to gonna judge you for just enjoying watching something that is a bit more, right? Everybody likes to listen to rap songs where they're flexing about things. Everybody likes to listen to um, to rock and roll, where you're talking about whatever you want. It's like the idea of you wanting to do this is not inherently bad. It's just, why would you base your entire club around that? Because that's not connected to class. And worse yet, let's say Real Madrid have had, basically, this is their third version of Galacticos, right? So you had the first one in the 2000s when I was a young boy, but then you had the second one near the start of 2010s, like late 2000s, with Ronaldo, Bale, you had Benzema, you had Ozil, all of these big players coming in. You even had, but the difference this time was you had now players like um, Xabi Alonso coming in. You had players like centre backs like Pepe coming in, and who would effectively round out the squad rather than just buying attackers. So you still had the attackers; they're still big, they're still a key component, and so they try and stabilize it, and they got some results and whatever, blah 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 blah, blah, right? I know you have it again, but even if you want to focus on the players and this other thing, it's like, I don't. I've never looked at Real Madrid as a player team with class per se. I will respect them for the ability to have those difference makers, the ability to identify who is a difference maker and manage to call them out from some of the bigger clubs in the world, in fact, and say, you want to play with us. I respect that. I don't respect the fact that Benzema managed to have a case um, and still played the majority of his career there. I don't respect the fact that he went to court, got found guilty for blackmail, and got a suspended jail sentence. I don't respect the fact that um, right now Raul Asensio, who's directly from the academy, has a case, and worse yet is being called up for Spain. I think that sets, considering what Spain just went through not too long ago with the women's national team. I think it sends a very poor image to the world about what Spain as a national team kind of represents. But at the same time, if that's what you are willing to deal with in front of your face, that's what it is. I think that's that doesn't change the reality of what football is, though. I think the extra sporting aspect of it is a part of football that, even though I personally do not appreciate, because I feel like when you can't handle yourself off the court and off the pitch, it can muddy how it feels to play on the pitch. I think a lot of people don't agree with me with my point of view. I think I've seen that throughout my life. I think when you look at Atletico, we've had some bad eggs go through our team as well. So be it, right? I don't think it's ever been this bad, but it's like, whatever. I I am of the feeling that Atletico Madrid as a team, what we showed over these legs, what we could do more of, what the fans showed, I enjoyed it. I
Definitely,
believe it.
definitely. I mean, like, this is like where I was like coming to. Like, I think I am really really proud of the way our fans in the stadium supported the team from, like I said, from the first minute to the 120th minute and beyond that as well, before the match as well, and even like when the players were entering the hotel, like we all saw like what kind of support our fans were giving them, and I'm really proud to support that kind of a team.
Mm.
Just like Kokis, just like I would say, I would quote Koke right now, like lower your head only when you have to kiss the badge. So,
Which is a
I mean,
fantastic quote.
which is a fantastic word, exactly. And these kind of things, I think this makes me like really proud of my team, and it makes me love this club much more as well. This is what Atletico is all about, the passion, the intensity, and especially, I mean, like, I know we will, like, there will be one Champions League for us definitely in the future.
Mhm.
We will achieve that goal. That will come sooner or later. That will come for sure. And I think like we are on a good path going forward as well. And for me, this is like for me the best club in the world.
Mm.
Like we all say,
But
El mejor,
we,
El mejor Club del Mundo.
yeah, Oh, I feel like we got a little distracted though, but
Yeah.
um, onto see. Speaking of Koke, actually, I I feel like his absence was felt because even though, in my opinion, those 120 minutes of Barrios was fantastic, and there's very little I could say that he did wrong. Honestly, I think if you compare this performance today to what Llorente did in Getafe as a DM, you could see why I said, despite what Llorente did, I appreciate what Barrios does because Barrios was being able to distribute
Oh, he had a
anywhere
great
and
game.
everywhere.
He had a he
Fantastic.
had a great
And
game. He had
that
a
chance that he created from Solat as well in the
yeah,
extra
exactly,
time,
exactly,
perfect.
exactly. Like we
Like,
had pretty good chance. That's what I'm saying. Like we had good chance. We just didn't convert them. And I knew for a fact that like if this goes into penalties, like because we didn't have penalty takers in our starting like the players which were on the field because
mhm,
Griezmann came off, De Paul came off. We didn't have the penalty takers which were on the field. We had Alvarez, and then we have Correa and Sorloth. That's it. Llorente, I don't know, like with his run up, I knew like I think he's gonna miss. With his run up only, I could have guessed it. But even talking about the penalties, I think if you take the Julian Alvarez penalty out, like Vasquez penalty got saved, he still had the chance to equalize. And even the Rodrigo penalty, I think it could have saved as well. It's just the luck wasn't really with us. I mean, it
I
is what
think
it is.
I think
It's a
people
tough field to
don't
follow.
respect Oblak's ability to save penalties. I think it's a
No, it is.
strange aspect that I feel like people look at Oblak and say, "Oh, look at all these things that he can do, except penalties," and it's just like that one moment in 2016 has kind of haunted him. Even though from that moment to now, in penalty shootouts, he's been consistently of the best keepers in the world.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people forget actually. Like 2016, he saved the penalty against Bayern Munich, which
Hmm.
led us into the final. I don't know
Yeah.
people remember that. And even in that Champions League run, we had a penalty shootout as well, which he was really great at it. And even when you see last year with Inter, I mean, even in the Euros, I'm like he saved CR7's penalty as well. Literally made him cry.
Hmm.
We like all Atleti fans were literally laughing at that moment actually, but he is. I think for me, he is good at penalties, but I think like in that moment, like he got lost a little bit because like the first two penalties, the way it went in, he
Hmm.
didn't really good like that much ready. I think he was like there are moments. I mean, it's a tense game. There are moments like it happens to all of us. So I don't really blame Oblak or anything, but I would just say that we were just unlucky with the whole thing going on around that time.
How much I feel like luck is always a factor, but to a degree, as you said, over 180 minutes, scoring two goals was a disappointment. Not even 280, it was over 220. 220? 210, my bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Quick maths. Okay.
yeah, quick maths. Alvarez over both legs was fantastic. I can't sing enough of his praises. I think even after what he did in the first leg, somehow, and even though he didn't score in this leg, I think he played even better. I saw multiple moments where he was, as a lone striker, taking on one, two, three men, and then still managing to take off a fairly decent shot, which usually either gets blocked or saved. And it shows to me a desire and also a capability that we haven't had in a long time in terms of a player who comes into the team. When I saw him do that, it's like I feel incensed to want us to push more. So I can imagine what the players feel like when that happens. What I would say is I was very disappointed in Griezmann.
Yeah, I mean, like
I,
Griezmann didn't have good game. I think both the legs. He
I
didn't really
think
have good time. Yeah.
Barrios and Griezmann really needed to perform in this game for us to have a chance, and Barrios performed
Barry is
immaculately.
did. Yeah, Barry is did.
Griezmann, every time it felt like there was always one touch too many. There was always one pass too many. There was always something that he was doing wrong. And I remember I'd like to bring it back was like that moment where there's a perfect cross into the box. Griezmann's free at the edge of the post, and he has options. He can either take a shot right now on his right foot, on his weaker foot, and try and challenge Courtois and hope to see if it goes in, or he can try and control it, maybe turn around, do something more complicated. Maybe it'll pull off, maybe it won't. He does the complicated thing. He loses the ball. Immediately, Real Madrid starts a counter and gets a penalty from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
long
yeah,
range decision, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in that moment, I felt a lot of different emotions. I felt despair. I can't believe this is happening like that. I can't believe we played this well over 75 minutes, and this is how it happens. I can't believe Griezmann when we need you most is when you decide to turn off. I don't know. I loved him this season so far, but so for instance, I loved what he did in the Barcelona game recently. I have not liked him in any of our derbies. I haven't liked him in either leg of this Champions League derby. I don't know what to say because it's like when he plays well, he does so much more than just connect a little piece to a cog. He does everything that you want somebody to do at this level. He's able to link up every play. He's able to be that X factor and kill off a game by himself over nothing. He's able to dribble past players. He's able to put in that killer ball. I saw none of that, and I've seen that come from him for years. I've seen him do it against Madrid for years. He has 11 goals against Madrid, I believe. Like it's not for nothing. I wanted him to perform and he
Yeah,
didn't.
obviously.
I
But
think that's the only player who really didn't show up or show out over those minutes.
true,
And
true. Like I definitely agree with you on this one. I think like he didn't have that much of a good game. I think there were moments where he could have done more. I think he would have done more if we had that prime Griezmann. I think
mhm,
like I don't
which
know
I
like
yeah.
if I don't know if it's his last season with us or not, but I have no idea. But yeah, I agree with you on this one. I was disappointed with Griezmann as well over the both legs. But I mean, maybe he was tired. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't sharp enough. We don't know that. But yeah, I definitely agree with you on this one. And yeah, and pretty much I guess that's it about the game. Anything you wanna add?
Um, I think a small thing I would add is I feel like DePaul and Renildo's injuries hampered our progress because we had a lot less control on that flank when Renildo wasn't there. We had a lot less danger. Also, DePaul clearly was playing through an injury in that game. I
Yeah, I know. Like our players, I think that's again gonna go back to that. Like we need an extra midfielder, but then
mhm.
and like we're gonna keep talking about all these things. But I mean, it's a never ending debate. Like I don't think like our board will sign a new midfielder, but they should sign a defensive midfielder.
Mhm.
Again, this summer we need a lot of signings as well. Witzel is
Yeah,
leaving, Aspilicueta is leaving, Koke's time is going on. We need to find if Griezmann leaves, we need to find his replacement as well. We need a good left back as well. We need a good amount of reinforcement coming to the team. So yeah, but yeah. Anyway, we're gonna end this over here. And to all the Atleti fans out there,
mhm.
feel proud of yourself to support this team and siempre Opa Atleti. Thank you.